All right, welcome back to the Brooklyn Kitchen. I'm Ayla again, and what we're doing today is we're going to talk about blanching. Why do we blanch? Why it's important? When should you do it? So simply put, we are going to be blanching some spinach today. So this is the easiest thing to blanch. Spinach is so thin, it cooks so fast. Blanching, the way we do, why we do it is to keep green things green. Number one is my answer to that. It's also to sort of like half bake or par bake something. I say bake, cook, half or par cook something. So either you're cooking it most of the way or you're cooking it halfway, depending on how big your product is, say a potato versus a leaf of spinach. And then also how much you want it to be cooked, depending on what your secondary process is going to be. So if I were to par bake a potato, I would cook it maybe 50 to 75% of the way by boiling it. And then that would just cut my cooking time in half for if I'm going to fry it or roast them or whatever is happening. For spinach today, we're going to keep things green. So, getting shaky here. So it's about to be spring. I mean, I guess it is spring, contrary to what's going on around us, but spring is full of green vegetables, and so we want to serve green vegetables green on your plate. So I'm starting with some spinach. This is triple wash from the factory farm, whatever. I'm going to throw some spinach into some boiling water. Now, the tip for green vegetables is when it turns really bright green, that's when you should pull it. I'm actually going to switch my tool here. If I'm doing asparagus and it turns really bright green, sometimes you can take it a little bit longer, take a piece out, give it a bite. If you want there to be a little bit of crunch in your asparagus, pull it when it turns green. If you want it to be softer, keep cooking it. But this is also a great thing, say you're doing asparagus and you blanch it to keep that green color and you want some crunch because you're then going to cook it again, maybe give it a little char on the grill. So any extra cooking will take that crunch and kind of keep going with it. So my spinach is in here. Depends how hot your water is. Was your water boiling? How much spinach did I throw in here? The important thing to note here, and we have a couple more seconds, is that I have an ice bath waiting for me. So things carry over cook, from chicken to spinach to peas to whatever you're cooking. It will continue to cook 5 degrees no matter what it is. So the reason we ice bath or shock something is to stop that cooking. Because once we've gotten beautiful green spinach, if we just put it on a plate to cool on its own, it'll turn brown. So we're going to stop that cooking by shocking it. I'm using what's called a spider because it looks like a spider web. That's what it's called, nothing crazy. You could use tongs, you could use like another kind of strainer with a handle. If you're done with this water, you could pour it through a colander, but there's also many great things you can do with this water when you're finished. So one, I'm going to keep blanching here as I go into my water. But say I'm making a ravioli, as we do sometimes with our blanched spinach, and make a ricotta filling, that would be a great time to cook your spinach ravioli in spinach water. It's just going to keep more flavor, and you're just kind of reusing things, which is great. From here, we're just going to kind of toss things around, make sure that it's nice and cold, that doesn't feel like there's any hot spots. Spinach, again, so thin, it'll cool super fast. But now you're going to pull it and you're just going to squeeze out that water. So if we were to take this spinach and wrap it in chicken, if you've been to our winter date night, or let's see, try and put some in your spinach and artichoke dip for the Super Bowl or whatever, and it was not blanched yet, the spinach might turn brown. So this kind of just helps it stay. Also, if you'll notice how much spinach this turned into, this is much easier for storing your spinach. Throw this in the freezer and now you're exactly in the spot where your frozen spinach that you buy at the store in those blocks gets. So the only thing that I like to do when I put it in my container, I like to put a little plastic wrap over it. So just to show you what I mean, if I haven't given this tip yet, it's coming up, depending on when we upload these videos. But if I were to fill my container with spinach or whatever, I want to sort of pack down that. I don't want to get any extra water or anything frozen in here before I do that. Also, you could always put it in a plastic bag and just make sure everything's nice and tight. You could totally plastic wrap it, but store it that way. And that is blanching. So happy spring, and I hope you guys are blanching really soon.